Hey everyone, I'm Alicia Marie, she, her, and by the gloried crown of Kalesa and the light of Torah, I will be playing Thellora of Caliwood. Also she, her, she is a level 17 Oath of the Crown Paladin, and most importantly, she is a centaur. May the mountains hide you so only the light may find you. I can't wait to see what you do with her.
Hi, I am Gina Darling, she, her, and I will be playing Jang Sao, which means moon and stars in Vietnamese. I am a druid wizard satyr that has been traveling the astral plane for centuries, painting the cosmos and collecting stars to light up your night.
Hello, I'm Mark Meer. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, King Uriah, Lord of Darkon, 17th level Cleric of the Grave, and worshipper of Ezra, aka the Raven Queen.
Hello, everybody. I am Meagan Kenreck, she, her, and I will be playing Whittle, who is also a she, her, a Dhampir gnome evocation wizard, last seen in the Legends of Multiverse, and I cannot wait to tell you all what she's been up to lately.
Hello, everyone. I'm Noura Ibrahim. My pronouns are she, her, as is my character, Nahara, who is a fallen Aasimar, reborn undead warlock at level 14 with 3 levels of College of the Spirit Bard. Be ready for some spooky Taroka deck readings.
Hi, B. Dave Walters, your humble dungeon master. Who am I playing? Literally everybody else. Pronouns, he, him, and I need you to know in advance, I am not sorry for anything that happens in this adventure. Hello, and welcome to Idle Champions Presents Fatebreaker, Episode 1, Bazaar. Hi, as always, we've done this a long time, and you've already gotten the introductions for me and everyone else, and we just talked about this, and it's still so weird to me that I don't have to say it. So I will just say, look at them, they're beautiful. Look at them, all of them. Look at them, they're beautiful. So, few things before we get into this, especially if this is your first time joining us in an Idle Champions. Hi, hello. Or if you're a returning champion, because this is 6.5 of these beautiful stories that we've been able to tell. A couple things I want to start off with. Again, thank you to the players of Idle Champions for tuning in and for voting. We acknowledge that the stakes are high in these sessions, thanks in no small part to those votes. But we ask that you respect our cast and avoid backseating. Again, every armchair quarterback has 100% pass completion rate, would have made every pass that Tom Brady missed. And it's easy to be here and yelling at the screen, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Well, 2 reasons. One, stakes are high and we're all human, and sometimes people do things that are non-optimal. Secondly, sometimes they might do something non-optimal for the sake of the story. There are times I might even ask somebody to do this and not this for the sake of the story we're telling. So just understand, enjoy the ride, come along with us for the show, and remember to vote, because you will influence what is going to happen in the subsequent episodes. We do have our votes, but I ask, and the results are public, but if you haven't seen the votes, I ask you guys not to put them in chat. Let it be a surprise for the people that don't know. If you do know, that's cool. If you want to go look, also cool, but don't put it in chat for the sake of the people that just kind of want to see how this is going to play out. The stream code today. Now, normally I say these out loud as the somatic components of a spell, but this one's got some exclams in it, so I don't even know how that would work. It is Widdle, but it's after the LE, there's 2 exclams, so it's like Widdle! ICP 6, Whittle, 2 exclams, ICP 6. The rewards there is a 1 gold Whittle chest, and that expires October 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific. So if you're with us live, use the code immediately. And if you're watching via VOD, hello from the recent past, use it before October 23rd. We've got some gargantuan giveaways, gargantuan, as Billy Corgan would say. You might have seen V's wonderful video where she was showing off some of the things that we were giving away. The giveaway, to enter the giveaway is during the break. Watch for a prompt in the chat from our moderators to enter when it starts, and we will announce the winners at the end. We are giving a D&D Icons of the Realm Lunar Dragon, which includes an adult Lunar Dragon mini, which is kind of like almost an oxymoron because it's kind of a maxi. It's a big old thing. Quebec is excluded from this giveaway. It's been a very long time since I've had to have an honest talk and remind you all, Quebec, you know what you did. Use code ICP20 at dndmini.com for 20% off your next order. Thank you, WizKids. That code expires on November 22nd. For our international giveaway, there's an Idle Champion Sigil and Synergy collection, which has a Factions of Sigil bundle, Hands of Havoc, Whittle Skin and Feet pack, a Flick It the Beetle familiar pack, Venture Casual Certainty theme pack, Venture Casual Donar skin and feet pack, a Psyche the Pseudo Dragon familiar pack. This prize cannot be split up and it is non-transferable, but that is available to the good people of Quebec. Make sure to check your whispers when the giveaway closes, and the winners are to be announced at the end of this episode. Thank you to Jay for moderating and keeping us all safe here. And with that, what say we tell a little story? Far away, and yet somehow adjacent at all times, in a land shrouded with mist that has dissipated somewhat slightly to allow some semblance of peace and order to reign, and yet can never be completely free from the intrinsic oppressing nature of the dread domains. The land of Darkon stands liberated. Liberated. Was it recently or was it centuries ago? The days, the years, they all tend to meld together. Was the final defeat of Azul Rex mere months ago or lifetimes? It becomes difficult to say in the ongoing, cyclical, eternal nature of the dread domains. And yet we find the Queen, Nahara. Where is Nahara on a normal day, and what does Nahara look like?
Well, Nahara is in this domain wearing a blood red gown. She has large wings with black feathers, eyes an icy light green, long flowing black hair, pale skin, and with a look of concern on her face that has grown over time. You can find her pacing through her castle almost like a ghost, partly in search of fonder memories, and has found that she likes to be alone. And so she finds herself trying to comfort herself with her own thoughts and her own memories. But oftentimes there is a room far beyond most of the quarters that people socialize in that looks vastly upon a horizon where she can, I guess, escape.
As you are pacing along, looking out over the window, over the restored, hybridized land of Darkon, and the people going through, again, a semblance of a peaceful existence, a huge shadow falls over the window, and a familiar beating sounds of gigantic wings as a very large, very familiar shadow dragon is coming down from the sky. Ebb, once the servant of Azul Rex, now the servant of you and the king. My queen.
Greetings. What news do you bring to me? And why are you here?
There is an envoy that insisted to speak with you and our king.
Who exactly is this envoy?
They refuse to give their name, and yet I felt compelled to abandon my clutch of eggs and seek you out in person.
I have always appreciated your service. You understand that, yes, but part of this interaction is that you are supposed to tell me who it is who visits. That's like part of the base part of the. It was in the intro.
My queen.
Training video.
I was bidden not to speak the name. I was told to find you and the king, and all would be revealed. Apologies. Should this be treachery, I swear on my life, I will tear this envoy to pieces in your name.
I thank you greatly for your service, and may the gods protect you and all of your many clutches of eggs from here to eternity.
One small request, ma'am.
Yes?
When the clutch hatches, I would like to pledge one of my hatchlings to you in service, as I myself served the former king in honor and glory.
You honor me greatly by that, and believe me, it is not forgotten. Thank you.
Ebb extends one of her long, black, sinewy wings that sort of flows almost with the smoky stuff of the abyss through the window and out in front of you like a plank to walk on.
Are we going this way?
Well, I think it's faster to fly to locate His Highness, don't you?
Yes. Okay, that's what we're doing. Right then. Is there like any place for me to like hold on to?
Oh, she's gargantuan.
What's her,
it's like climbing onto the back of a spiky 747. Like Ebb is gargantuan.
She got the wing armors, like I've got little wing tiny armors, like something for me to hold on to.
You know what? Honestly, after all this time, this is not your first rodeo. Would you have put a saddle up there? Would you have put a little gondola? Like you tell me what it's like. As the haunting song of our people, the ancestral chorus of Darkon.
Yes.
The cries of the people echo up as you step out of the window and they gaze upon their queen. You tell me what it's like on Ebb's back.
She is in the familiar pack. There is I would say it's almost like it's just like a glorified basket that I can fit in. It's a big one. Maybe she keeps her clutches in there when it's like not safe and she just wants to baby Bjorn them, and so
right.
There's just like little baby blankets actually, and it's not really for me, but I'm gonna use it.
You know what? roll a d8. Let's see how many eggs Ebb has going here.
Oh, I don't know if they're there, but if maybe there are. Let's see.
Let's let fate decide how Ebb's doing.
A d8, you said?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. 6.
6 jet black eggs are in the basket, just kind of like rolled up in a blanket near where your feet would be. And there is, of course, a 2 silken seats there for both you and the king. But currently, he is not here.
All right. Well, I shall do my best to not to believe. I will not kick over. See, she like lifts her legs and kind of like sits crisscross applesauce. Like, the eggs are fine. I won't kick them over. I promise.
Ebb rotates, and of course, her neck is long enough that she can look back at you completely, and her head almost eclipses the sky as she looks down on you, Nahara. I don't fear the safety of my brood. I trust you to watch over them, as you and His Highness watch over all of Darkon.
Very well. Just wanted to put that out there, that they are safe.
And as her wings start to flap and lift off, King Uriah, where are you and where would they locate you? You are muted, good king. Just like old times.
It wouldn't be a stream without. At this time of day, King Uriah is in the topmost tower of Castle Avernus, working on a project he has turned his attention to. Floating before him, a map of what used to be called the core, the domains of dread, linked not only by mistways, but physical borders. The king is surrounded by his advisors, liches all, who watch as he employs the most powerful of magics, a wish spell, pouring it into the proverbial cauldron of wishes that he has been brewing these long months or years. As the wish is cast, a glowing meter ticks up almost imperceptibly. He turns to his vizier. Yes, another. Soon the core shall be reunited, I think.
You see this lich standing before you, still vaguely human in his appearance, the long years having not completely rotted away all vestiges of his humanity. And he bows his head low and raises it and opens his mouth. And as he begins to speak, nothing comes out of his mouth, King Uriah. As you look around the room, all of your viziers have stopped moving, frozen in place. It does not seem like time itself has stopped. Your magical cauldron bubbles. Your map continues to levitate. The ambient noises of your kingdom continue to echo from outside. But in this room, they're all frozen still.
Given that time stop is one of my preferred tactics, do I recognize this as such?
Not quite. It's just them, not the world.
I shall gaze upon them. Are they under some manner of enchantment?
As you lean in close to this pale, gaunt form, out of his mouth, a single black feather emerges and floats gently down to the floor.
Ah, my lady, I did not expect this visitation, says King Uriah, glancing upwards at the shadows in the ceiling.
A voice echoes from everywhere and nowhere at once. All hail, King Uriah. Might I have an audience with the king?
Do I recognize this voice?
It is a voice you know quite well, but haven't heard for some time. It is the voice of the Raven Queen.
King Uriah drops to one knee. My lady, I am ever your servant.
Uriah, from right behind you, you feel a person standing who wasn't there mere moments before. Her high-heeled boots clicking on the stone floor. Her long black robe brushing against your shoulder as she motions down with a pale hand as she walks past, Please, stand.
He does so.
The last time you saw the Raven Queen, she bore the visage of your love, Nahara. This time she does not. What stands before you is the same person, black gown, robes, raven feathers, but on her face is a bone white porcelain mask covered in red and blue streaks. My Uriah, you've made me so proud. You've done wonders here. And she turns and looks at the map and says, and it looks like you intend to do wonders still. Tell me, my child, are you happy?
Happy. I have everything that one could want. Power, a vast kingdom, and the woman I love as my queen. And yet, every night, I ask her the same question. Whether she stays here in Darkon of her own free will. Yet as the king of Darkon, I cannot know if she answers of her own volition. The thing I have become combines the Uriah that was, Firan Zalhonan, and Azalin Rex, who controls absolutely all undead within Darkon's borders. So how may I know if she is truly her own or merely a puppet dancing on the strings of my subconscious desire?
She takes a step towards you, Uriah, and pushes a strand of your hair over your ear and even slowly runs her fingers across the iron crown of Darkon. You, more than any of the other lords of these lands, have been blessed, cursed, with a certain awareness. These dread domains, the very nature of them is to give you all that you ever wished for, all that you ever sought in this life, in whatever came before, and yet happiness, fulfillment, satisfaction are not to be found in these mists.
I knew this to be the case when I accepted the crown, my lady, for the safety of those who dwell within Darkon's borders. I shoulder this burden gladly, but now, even the thought that I might be keeping her prisoner here, I know my torment is a necessary component of this place. It is how things work. But I ask you, lady, if she is not here of her own will, let her be free.
She gently takes her hand away from the iron crown. Uriah, were it so simple. And yet, I have come for both of you. And when she says that, she points at that window, and at that exact moment, the familiar silhouette of Ebb coming down from the sky arrives. And she does reach one of her wings towards the window. Nahara, do you often visit this place where King Uriah works on this project with these people who stand unmoving, frozen in space? As you look in and you see him with this raven-feathered woman that you also know quite well. But is this a room that Nahara visits or not?
It is a room that she visits. Whether King Uriah is attentive to her presence, depending on what he's working on. Sometimes he knows that she's there, and sometimes she goes in secret just to observe him and to see if there is hope in that day that she will see more of Uriah. She spends her, however long this has been, working with her magic to try to see if there's a way that she will ever have her whole Uriah again. And as long as she draws breath, well, she doesn't really draw breath, but as the expression goes, she would never leave his side. And so, yes, she would, on occasion, be in that room.
As you make your way down Eb's outstretched wing, she turns her gargantuan head and looks in the window and says, "My king, I see the envoy has disturbed you. Apologies." You are muted, good King Uriah.
No need, faithful Eb. For this envoy is always welcome.
Nahara, you see the Raven Queen turns and looks at you, and she just extends her arms to you.
My lady, and she will go, and before she extends her, she will deeply bow and go towards her.
She turns and looks at Eb and says, "Your services will no longer be required. Return to your mate Gloom, and blessings upon your clutch." And the two of you see a sight that for all your long years and your far travels, you have never seen before. A shadow dragon's face show a mixture of being flattered and joy. Her lips curl back in an odd motion because she's not familiar with how to smile. Just like, "Oh, my king, am I dismissed?"
Indeed you are, Eb.
Hail Darkon, hail Nahara, hail Uriah, and hail the Raven Queen. And she flies away. And the Raven Queen stands with the two of you and says, "Before we continue, there is one other that must join our gathering here. The permission to have another visitor in your sanctum."
Of
My
course.
lord.
Always wanted to you, my lady. He turns to Nahara and takes her hand. My queen.
My lord, did you know of this meeting?
I did not. But the lady, as ever, must be obeyed.
You see the Raven Queen extends an arm, and her cloak looks like the long wing of a raven that extends. And with her other hand, she reaches into it and she grabs something. And you see it's like she struggles with it for a second and begins pulling something out of the darkness. The first thing you see is a pair of gray hair buns in spikes, and then a pair of goggles as a squirming gnome emerges from the Raven Queen's cloak, and she puts her down right in front of you. Whittle, what does Whittle look like, and what was she doing mere moments before being yanked through this portal?
Whittle looks really confused. She's been in the same place for probably like 1,000 years, but honestly, she has no hard proof that any time at all has passed. Before she got yanked into whatever this place is, she was on the balcony in Castle Ravenloft, watching Rend, her Warforged friend, gather bodies of adventurers who've been trying to take her down for years. She's been tortured by boredom. She begins her days the same way she ends them, day in and day out. She's sitting on her throne, bored, watching Ren from the balcony. She's wearing a spiked jacket, canvas top and pants that have been tattered and not mended probably once ever. She also, next to her, has a flamethrower. Is large, probably twice the size that she is. But it's not just any old flamethrower. It's powered by a rogue Modron. Usually it does what she wants it to, but it's real handy in getting rid of these pesky adventurers. So she's sitting from the balcony before she gets gobbled up by whatever this is. Ren's gathering these body parts from adventurers and putting it into these graves, but they've had to double up over the years because there's a lot of bodies in there. At the bottom of these graves, there's a drain that drains the blood from the bodies down into the bowels of Castle Ravenloft, into a room where there's 10 vats filled with green fluid, and bodies, all different types of bodies, in all different forms, are growing in these vats. And you see a little vial around her neck that's got some blood in it just in case she gets thirsty. And around her throne, she's got bottles. Some of them are full of dwarf spirits mixed with alchemist fire. When her rogue Modron doesn't want to do their job, she just chucks it over the balcony and aims for the adventurers. So in this new place, she's real confused and she's looking for answers.
And what does Whittle look like?
She's about 4'5", real tall for a gnome. She's a Dompier, so she's gray in pallor and hair. She's let herself go over the years. You see, there's no one she really is trying to impress anymore. Her clothes are very tattered, but she has this really cool jacket with spikes on it that keeps people from trying to hug her. She's got no time for friendship or emotion. She's bored of all that.
Before we get to what's actually happening here, I realize I did not ask King Uriah to describe himself.
Much as you see, Uriah wears the robes that Aslan Rex wore in office, and upon his head, of course, the iron crown of Darkon, though he does not quite appear as he did in life. Though he has not decayed, the unmistakable look of undeath is upon him, and his eyes that stare from his sockets are those of Aslan Rex.
As this gnome appears in Whittle, you see the scene as described before. The Raven Queen looks down at you and says, I think you've all come to realize the nature of the dread domains are both cyclical and infinite. You all left your Barovia in a state of chaos and disrepair. In another Barovia, Whittle gave herself up to become the Dark Lord to ensure that Strahd von Zarovich would never return. Dark Lord Whittle, I introduce you to Queen Nahara and King Uriah of Darkon.
Another Barovia. Fascinating.
How strange.
I've been there for like 1,000 years. I know everyone in Barovia. I've never seen you two before.
We have been.
Oh, we haven't. We haven't seen you, but we have been there.
Indeed, our Barovia is, I believe, if reports are to be confirmed, ruled by one Piddlewick. Are you familiar with him?
My memory ain't what it used to be. I think I may have heard of this Piddlewick before, but I don't recall ever meeting them.
Creepy puppet. You'd probably
Yes.
remember if you'd come across him.
Yes.
Piddlewick 2, officially.
Yes, Piddlewick too, but first of his name, I didn't understand the title he chose, but
That's
You-
Piddlewick for you.
you three have become a part of something. You've always been a part of it, not just sweet-ass drag racing. A looping moment of reality that threads through present, future, past, and possibility, but more than anything, of all the Dark Lords of the infinite dread domains, of all those that lord over their lands to their great pleasure but ultimate dissatisfaction, you three, and only you three, chose this burden for the sake of others. And because of that, I believe you may be of some use to me in a most pressing matter.
Of course, my lady.
How much you paying?
Well,
Ah, Whittle. She looks down at you and she says, "You gave up yourself to save your friends. An odd little halfling in particular, if I recall, but all of them in general, did you not?"
Yeah. Actually, I kind of forgot why I was here, but thank you for the reminder. I did do that. I did do a nice thing.
You did a very nice thing. Tell me, these friends whose memories wane in your recollection, allow me to remind you. And she reaches out and she touches your forehead, Whittle. And you see an orc covered in metal, a dragon, a golden dragonborn with wings, and an elven wizard throwing fireballs, a cunning trickster, and a red and green haired halfling who was very tall for a halfling, locked in battle with Asmodeus, a demon. You saw yourself drop a Tarask on him, and it just sort of flashes through your mind very quickly, and then you're back here in this moment.
Really?
You remember.
I remember them all. Are they all still with us?
Well, you have a chance to protect them again, because if you don't, no, they won't be with us anymore. Even here, King Uriah, you've given all to defend this kingdom and these people and these lands, but a force greater than the dread domains, dare I say a force greater than even I myself, threatens these lands, all plains, all cities, all existence.
If you have need of my services, lady, you have but to ask. He turns to Whittle briefly. No payment required.
Yeah. You know, that I take it back. I would save my friends again, and I kind of wanted to get out of Barovia anyways. How did I even get here? I thought I was trapped by the dark powers.
I have some influence in such things. Yes, you all can defend the ones you love. And she looks right at you, Nahara, and she says, some of you can protect the ones you love a little more directly than others.
well, I can never sit back and not help those in need if we are called to it. And your lordship, Widdle, is it?
Yes.
I'm very curious about your time in Barovia, and perhaps we shall speak on that at some point. But
Whittle, sorry, Nahara, let me just interject one thing. Whittle, As you're looking at this woman, you've actually seen her before. It takes a second. There is a very large, very faded painting in your castle Ravenloft. You never paid too much attention of it, covered in dust, but now that you're looking at it, it's her.
It's you.
I'm
You're-
sorry, have we?
You're the beautiful woman in the painting. I never knew who it was.
What painting?
In Castle Ravenloft, I have Ren dusted off every once in a while.
Oh, yes. Oh, forgive me. It's things get very confusing, especially with time and being yeeted across portals. And yes, that was me at a point in one of my lives. Yes.
Well, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm sure we have a lot of discussing to do about your time in Ravenloft and how weird this all is.
It's strange, and I suppose part of you gets used to it, and part of you never does.
King Uriah will step towards the Raven Queen and ask, Lady, are you saying that we may leave Darkon without jeopardizing it? I took the throne to restore the balance.
I personally will remain here to ensure its safety, and King Uriah, Queen Nahara, should you succeed in this, she turns and she looks at the map. She says, perhaps that may allow your plans to bear fruit.
And away from this place, will I be as I am now, or as I was?
Away from this place, the three of you will find yourselves to be something quite different, in fact. And she holds her hands up, and darkness begins to swell over the three of you. And somewhere else, far, far away, Thellora, you find yourself in a place of gray nothing. As far as you can see, there is only mist and shadow, containing nothing in particular. What was Thellora just doing, and what does Thellora look like?
Okay, I will start with what Thellora was doing. If you can imagine this broad, open field. The weather is beautiful. The sun is shining. The grass is green. There's a large body of water, but it's far away and it's sparkling. And if you pan up 16 hands precisely, you see a centaur. She's palomino colored, so her, hair is caramel colored. She has wheat colored hair that sort of flows back from her head like a mane, and it matches her tail, which has like these distinct braids in it. She has a tiara on her head. On her face is almost a look of sort of expectance, like she knows what's about to happen. In front of her is this, where you see her eyes trained, is this large mountain. If you could zoom in a little bit closer, you would see at the top of that mountain is an opening, like a large volcano. It's just very, very dark. She stands staring at this large mountain. And she looks behind her. And behind her, you see about 40 other centaurs. All female. They look very different, but they're all wearing similar appointments, heavy armor, carrying different two-handed or single-handed weapons, shields. They all look like warriors. She nods at them and hoists her sword. She takes a deep breath and says, Godam Alik! And they reply, and kind. Gudamalik! And then she disappears. And she's standing in this darkened mist. She looks around. This is Thellora of Caliwood. She has 2 different color eyes. One is gold, one is blue. And when she squints, looking around for just any information, the one eye, her right eye specifically, that is gold, begins to glow a little, as if she's trying to seek out unseen dangers. And might I mention 3 words: big, mother-flowering sword.
As you began to take a step towards the holy mountain and found yourself instantly in this place, as you look around, after a moment, you see some distance away a figure. Again, you feel yourself standing on something with solid purchase, but as you look around, there is nothing. There is no up, there is no down, there's no left, there is no right, except there is this person off in the distance.
Thellora squints. Hark! Who goes there?
Jang Sao, wanderer of the astral wastes. You are quite accustomed to this void, of this in-between, of the endless nothingness of the astral plane. And you hear this proud voice ring out, and off in the distance, if there is any distance, perhaps she is right next to you, perhaps she is 1,000,000 miles away. You are aware of the nature of this place, that you travel merely at the speed of thought. Apparently, she still thinks she has to do it with those 4 magnificent legs. But you hear this voice ring out, hark!
Jang Sao is distracted. She she has an easel in front of her. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, she's holding a paintbrush. She's looking off in distance. No, I don't. Another blue planet with white. No, we've made that before. Turned out terrible. We can't do that again. Perhaps purple this time. She dips her brush into her palettes of paints, and she starts painting impossibly bright yellow glimmering stars and starts sending him off. What about that? Well, no, I think we can do a little bit better. Just absolutely ignoring anything else, absolutely distracted by anything else that's going on.
And what does Jang Sao look like?
Jang Sao is about 6 feet tall. She's a satyr. You're seeing a very delicate deer face. She's a very dark black with hues of blue and purple all over her body. Her eyes glow a bright yellow glow. Giant horns, black and purple blue horns that are draped with very delicate golden chains with little tiny stars and crescent moons dangling from it. She wears an ankle-length coat. I guess a trench coat, if you must, but very fitting to her body with golden buttons and a golden crescent moon pin on her collar. She holds a lantern filled with little stars that she's collected throughout her journeys in the astral plane. She wears delicate white gloves, silk white gloves. Think of it, she almost looks like a butler, a servant to someone. Very regal, very well put together.
Thellora, as you see as this person is painting, the stars go shooting off the easel, just off into the distance, the thing they're making. And as you even imagine taking a single step towards her, you're right next to her. You're just there. She was way over there, and then she's right here.
Thellora is watching Jang for a second. And then she sort of stands tall, broadside. Hello. I am Thellora of Caliwood, Order of the Luma, Oath of the Crown. Is this my command post, and are you my ally?
The Lord. Yeah, sure, ally. Stop distracting me, but
Who,
and she looks
who-
the Lord up and down, and well, aren't you a beauty? Well, I might paint you one day.
Is that what I've been called to do? Is to be painted? Your work
Well, I
is
don't know
impressive.
why.
A voice echoes from
Jang Sao
all...
looks at her.
Oh no, please, Jang Sao, please.
Jang Sao looks at her, and well, I don't know why you're here. But if you're going to be here, can you at least make yourself useful? Yes, stand right here, and I need a scale to measure here. Yes. And she ushers the Laura in front of her.
All right. Should I stand a certain way? Thellora looks completely baffled, but she's all right then.
No, hold your back leg just up other like yes, quite so many legs, aren't you? Okay, right there. Okay, thank you. Good. Yes.
As you all are posing and she begins painting this picture of you, a voice echoes from everywhere and nowhere. Far be it from me to interfere with the righteous adjudication of the arts, but sadly I have not summoned you for this alone. A mote of chaos has flared at the center of all time and space and will spread like pestilence, moment to moment, mind to mind, world to world. Unless
Show
you do
yourself.
something to stop it.
Well,
You- Go ahead, Jang Sao.
Oh no, I was just talking to myself. Go on.
You all hear a loud caw of a raven, and a sparkle of black feathers just begin falling all around you, but you don't see anyone else. Jang Sao, timeless creature. There is a danger, a risk that will affect even this place. Your infinite wanderings and musings will be brought to an end.
No, I still have too much to do. There's so much to paint. Worlds must be created. Stars must be to an end.
In Thellora, your tribe, your sisters, your village, your people, all of the sky sense and the sea sense and the earth sense will all be eradicated if you do not act.
With the Vermet. Tell me what I must do.
Excellent. Unfortunately, I cannot say much more than this, except I have sent help for you. Jang Sao, you might want to put the brush down.
Ugh. She flicks her brush and just hides it, puts it away, closes up her paints. Oh, I can never interruptions. Okay.
Just know there is more at stake here than any concerns of your individual mortal lives. Do not fail. And when you hear that voice, a field of light surrounds and swallows you, and then all becomes darkness that has no beginning, no end, no expanse, no duration. You are nothing. You have never been. You are eternal. You are the fate of uncounted worlds, a million voices rising, shouting, screaming. Then you hear a single cry, a child's voice crying with disappointment. The dark sound of laughter, a voice. You truly thought that you could stop me. And then silence and darkness. And then all of it is gone, washed away by light and clamor. A spiky-haired halfling pushes up to you, grinning as he whips open a fine suit jacket to reveal a row of what look like clockwork timepieces. Now you, my lieges, ladies, and lords, you look like people that know that time is money. So, why not spend some money on a fine timepiece? A wonderful range of styles and options available. Come see! And as the 5 of you sort of regain your consciousness, an enormous marketplace opens up around you, filled with stalls, carts, and shops, seemingly selling every product imaginable, and a few that defy imagination. The multitudinous peoples of the multiverse are on display here, with worldly humanoids rubbing shoulders with extraplanar folk, alithids, fiends, and more. A dozen or more languages can be registered among the shouting merchants nearest you, and the crowds of shoppers passing by, although common rings out most clearly. Beyond the market, a great city spreads around you and above you, where streets arc upward in a curving course that ends at a sudden edge. You stand within some form of massive torus, easily more than a mile wide, its farthest extents vanishing beyond a sky that looks noontime bright, but holds no sun. Now, a few things happen. For Whittle, Nahara, and Uriah, you all feel something that you haven't felt in some time. You feel that cruel, oppressive pressure of the dread domains is gone. Although none of the 3 of you need to breathe, somehow you still find yourself taking a deep, free breath for the first time in longer than you can remember. These are not the dread domains. You are free. And I will add one last piece of knowledge. Of all of you, I would say perhaps Jang Sao has been here as well, but Whittle, you've been to Sigil before. You recognize it immediately.
I have been in Barovia for so long, and she just kind of collapses to the ground and picks up the dirt and lets it slip through her fingers. If she could hug the ground, she would.
Yeah, I will say Whittle kind of like begins to like give it to the ground here, hug the dirt. And an odd awareness comes through you all as the 5 of you are standing here. Although you've never met before, somehow you are aware instantly that you all are allies. You are aware that you've all been sent here at the behest of the Raven Queen. And last but certainly not least, you are aware that here is Sigil, the crossroads of the multiverse.
An odd sound escapes Uriah as his body language changes completely. I am... He looks at Nahara. I'm myself again.
Uriah, is it really just you?
Yeah, just me. Hello, everyone. You're our allies.
Nice to meet you.
Are you gonna be
Jang
okay?
Sao squints. Jang Sao squints a little. It's been quite some time since she's been anywhere with light. And squints at King Uriah. Yes. Friend, you look concerned. No, shocked? No, relief.
A little surprised, I suppose. Discombobulated, I think, would cover. Excuse me. He rushes into Nahara's arms.
I just, it's huge, just like smooches. Just 1 moment, please.
Uriah.
Yes, of course, yes.
Uriah, after mere seconds of feeling the warmth of Uriah's embrace, of feeling the return of true joy and passion. The song of your people somehow still echoing through Sigil, which is odd. As you hear the song, another presence reveals itself to you, Uriah. He's not gone. You feel the crown on your brow almost become heavier and constrict slightly on your head as your moment of joy is interrupted by a very familiar voice and presence.
The others see shimmering into view a skeletal figure, dressed much the same as Uriah, with the same crown upon its brow. Nahara, you've seen him before, but now not even scraps of dried flesh cling to his bones, but 2 pinpoints of eldritch light blaze in the empty eye sockets. You are not free, boy. Keep that in mind. Ah, yes, of course. Hello, everyone. This is my predecessor and I suppose progenitor, Aslan Rex. Indeed. And
My patron and also, I guess, father-in-law.
can it be? Do I gaze upon the streets of Sigil? Yes?
As you all hear this ghostly lich say this out loud, an odd awareness begins to come over some of you, and you see Whittle and Jang Sao's eyes both begin to glow with an odd bluish-white light at the same time as awareness rushes into your mind. And I've sent here in our chat some things the two of you are instantly aware of. I'm going to give you a second to process that because I dropped a block of text there. Nahara, witnessing all of this, I believe Nahara was about to say something. What does Nahara do or react to the presence of all of this?
After the little smooch time, and obviously not very pleased by seeing Aslan once again, as her wings have unfolded out of this embrace, and as she's noticed before that it happened to her when she was in the Feywild, the black feathers of her wings are now white, and for some reason her garb has transformed from this blood red into this sky blue now that the sun has or a sunless bright sky is shining down on them.
Now, Whittle, Jang Sao, this is, although again, both of you have been here before, it is like this information is literally being downloaded. It's like memories that you remember out of nowhere, although they almost exist out of context. Like you're like, I just know this.
Yeah, I think I remember the last time I was here. I was at Avron's bar, got into a bar fight, and I was trying to get away from the bouncer. I was trying to teleport, and I couldn't.
Oh,
What is
these
a bouncer?
ground walkers.
Has anyone else been here before?
No,
A bouncer is, I guess, someone who, if you were to be unruly, he would yeet you out of the facilities.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Yeet. Not go
yes.
anywhere.
Yes.
Yes. Jang Sao looks around, or actually looks down at Whittle. Whittle, how tall are you?
4'5".
Ah, okay. Jang Sao looks down at Whittle and says, "You're quite the plucky one, aren't you? These ground walkers, feisty, adorable, really."
Thanks. If she could blush, she would.
Jang Sao, although your response to this place is much different from those from the Dread Domains, there is almost a nauseating whiplash of re-entering time and space versus the timeless, endless existence of the astral plane.
Yes. It's been quite some time since I've laid foot on ground. Although I do remember buying a very nice paintbrush here.
Where are you from?
But it is good to be back. I am from everywhere and nowhere all at once. I travel the astral planes, you see. When night falls, everything you see in the sky, every sparkle, I paint it. Alongside with my... Oh, you've seen...
Every time I look up at the sky, when I'm not in Barovia anyways.
Thank you. It's the work of me and my friend. And she looks over her shoulder, and my friend Quinn, who can't be with us at the moment.
Are we gonna meet your friend soon? Are they okay? You need help?
She is quite a distance from us now. She is fine. Thank you.
Is one other thing that is particularly unusual, especially for the three of you who have just arrived here from Darkon. There's a horse person with a very large sword.
Oh, and this is my new friend.
You see Whittle count the legs, inspect the horse. All right, so there's no exoskeletons, so you're not an insect. Sorry, where are my manners? My name's Whittle, former Lord of Barovia.
A lord?
The Lord gallops, like, sort of toward you and stands up. Thellora.
Hello, Thellora. I'm Uriah. This is my wife, Nahara.
Hello.
And she sort of bows her head because she can tell that you're probably royalty somehow, and she says, your majesties.
Oh yes.
That's not necessary, really.
No.
The ghostly lich, which is floating beside Uriah, turns to Thellora and says, "A centaur. It has been some time since I have beheld one of you."
She instinctively reaches for her sword, but then stops, and her hand goes back to her.
Uriah leans forward. Uriah leans forward and goes, "No, your instinct was correct." There.
Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from Caliwood. It's a wide, loaming place far from here. I belong to the Luma. We're a sentinel order that requires that we take turns off post in adventure and quests so that we may become stronger and more able and to be ready for the day that Solomon returns.
Uriah, it's not well read though he may be. You were somewhat limited to the information that made it in and out of Darkon. Azalin, however, has never heard of anything she just said. Those lands don't make any sense. Those gods or whatever she's referring to, never heard of any of it, which is unusual for him.
Azalin will lean forward, sort of float forward. "Well, how very fascinating. This has all been quite illuminating. But I think I shall destroy you fools and take my leave now that the multiverse lies stretched before me," as he gestures, and I assume nothing happens.
Nothing happens, although you do... Actually, I'm going to put a pin in exactly what happens when Azalin tries that. So we'll come back to momentarily when Azalin tries to destroy everyone.
I appreciate your moxie. You know that, Uriah, you're a lot nicer when your stepfather's not possessing you.
Well, he's actually... I was actually a clone of him. It's a funny story. I'm not sure we have time.
Long, funny story.
You all are standing there. You hear ahem as that halfling is still standing there with his coat open.
Oh.
Now, listen, friends. You look like folks who've experienced their fair share of adventure. Perhaps several other people's share besides. You've been doing a bit of hopping world to world. Yeah, I thought so. There's a certain look in the eye, but as such, you know the importance of keeping one step ahead of the strangest of circumstances, and I have got just what you need. And he pulls out of his coat there a large pocket watch, and he clicks both buttons, and it flips open, and an orrery appears, like, you know, those rotating things that track celestial movements. And he goes, my good gnome. No, gnomes cannot resist a good tinker. You are incredibly tall for a gnome, by the way. And also fair to behold. All of you beautiful. Not the weird ghost thing so much, but to each their own. I'm not here to undead shame, such as it is, but my lady gnome.
Jang Sao takes a look at the little pocket watch with all the celestial doodads and looks and whispers to Whittle, "It's not accurate."
Okay, thank you. I was gonna ask you about that.
Hold on, wait, just one
Are you a scam artist? You know those aren't allowed here in Sigil.
You can't spend it. What? Yeah, man. First of all, you cannot say scam artist without artist. You cannot say con man without confidence.
Well, it was just appraised.
Well, it's this. I'll have you know, this orrery is not for just tracking cam. Like you just come in here, you sparkly satyr, and think you could just like throw salt in the game like that. No, what this is for, in the immediate while he's talking and he points at it, the world starts to change. Time seems to slow. Aslan Rex holds his hands up, prepared to unleash a destructive wave on all of you. And the marketplace around you resolves to fix details, moving sluggishly somehow. A bell rings out in the distance, its echoes manifesting as metallic ripples in the air that you can actually see. Walking past you, a little goblin girl drops her ice cream cone and cries loudly, the same cry you heard in that place between worlds. But her mother quickly picks it up and, with a puff of prestidigitation, cleans it off and hands it back to the child. On the other side of you, a gang of unruly gift soldiers, hippo people, wander by, guffawing loudly at an unheard joke. And then the gift, the goblin mother, the spiky-haired halfling, and every other creature around you looks up wide-eyed. A figure has manifested above you, impossibly tall, floating in mid-air, long robes trailing beneath them. Their face is unseen behind a mask set with a sweeping crown of razor-sharp spikes. The Lady of Pain has come.
Do any of you recognize that?
Yep.
I had just gotten over the fact that those hippopotami were wearing trousers, and then this.
You know, the moment, Thellora, you say, do any of you recognize this? Uriah's eyes have that same bluish-white glow that you saw in Jang Sao and Whittle's a mere moment ago, and Uriah becomes aware of some things, vital exposition that I have now sent.
Lovely. By what channel is that sent?
I sent it over in the Discord.
Lovely. Could you paste that into our usual channel on...
You know, I absolutely can. Discuss amongst yourselves the appearance of this astonishing woman while I reveal to Uriah mystical knowledge.
Anybody should talk to her.
Oh dear. I'm just processing something here. I'll be right with you. Meanwhile, in the background, Aslan is still frantically trying to cast every spell in his repertoire.
It's you in Aslan, although I realize both the human and the character is being pulled in a number of directions here. It is not just your powerlessness, but you get the distinct impression that nothing happens here that woman does not will.
The lady Lady of Pain. Everyone be very, very careful. This foe is beyond any of us.
Is this who we're supposed to be up against?
I certainly hope not. She is eternal. She is unstoppable.
Are we
Well, beyond
the
any
only
god.
ones? Are we the only ones who see her? And Jang Sao looks around and notices that people are just going about their day and ignoring this figure in the sky.
That's
and looks
not
down.
That isn't quite what happens, Jang Sao. Some of them are looking, but you notice when they look, they immediately look away. Like, you know, they
Jang Sao kneels.
Brother Uriah, you see Jang Sao is about to kneel. What were you about to say?
Immediately, he just sort of gently, underneath the elbow, like, don't kneel. Worship actually outrages her. She does not wish to be worshipped. She will not countenance it, in fact.
Right when you
will-
say that, the halfling next to you looks up wide-eyed, and he stares at her with reverence in his eyes, and he says, "My lady, my name is Tasala. I offer myself to you." And he bows down to her, like praising her as you would a god. And you see the lady's mask turns and looks towards him, completely unmoving in her steel. And you see a flash of light in her eyes, and the halfling screams and takes a single step backwards and is gone, and drops that ori that he was holding.
I was about to kneel to ask the little one who she was. Well, there goes that, and gets back up.
At that sight,
Ori, I guess.
Yep, Whittle bends down to pick it up. And 5-finger discount.
As you pick it up and she banishes this halfling, you see she just starts floating forward away from you. She appeared right over your head and she starts moving away, and the crowd starts parting as she goes.
may I?
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if there's anything with true sight that I can see before me.
At her in particular or in general?
Yes, and in general.
Nahara, as you hold up your crystal ball and activate your true sight, again, in your storied career, you see something that you've never seen before. You're used to penetrating all illusions and all things, but as you look at this scene before you, it's not one scene, it's dozens, it's hundreds. You see everyone is just stacked on top of each other, as everything has just been like copy pasted. Infinite variations of this exact same scene are all happening at the same time. And as you turn and look towards the Lady of Pain, a jolt of pain just goes through your mind, and you all see on Nahara's forehead a tiny wound opens up as her flesh is just laid open all the way down to the skull.
Your Grace.
Nahara, Uriah will immediately go to her and cast.
I will. Even though it looks like it is a tiny scratch, it is down to the bone, and you take 12 points of damage, Nahara.
What was that?
Allow me, darling, here. And Uriah will heal.
I won't even make you roll for it. It is easily within your. But tell me what it looks like as you see her flayed before you. What does it look like when Uriah heals it?
As Uriah heals it, the glow, the signature glow of healing around his hand, and he actually, though, does employ sort of medical techniques as well. So he's pulls out small sutures, and they sort of disappear as this healing magic happens. Are you all right? I'm so sorry. I should have been more clear. Yes. Lady of Pain is to be ignored. Certainly not examined with detection magic.
That was painful. What is this place? It's just infinitely existing at once. What is this?
I'm not very sure. Aslan, I think that know. But that
Master Uriah.
telling.
What?
All right, what was that, Aslan?
That would be telling.
Mm-hmm. And Thellora, you were saying something?
She's watching all of this happen between Nahara and Uriah, and she turns to Uriah and says, Master Uriah, are you familiar with that apparition?
Oh, the knowledge, it's as if it sprung to my mind, unbidden. I just knew that. I knew what would outrage her, what would draw her wrath. He's beyond a god, beyond any power. I fear we are nothing before such a force.
Thellora, as you're asking this, all of you give me perception checks.
Ooh.
First roll of the night.
First roll.
So B-Dave,
News.
I should tell you my passive perception is 27.
You all know how much how much I hate passive perception.
Oh,
but
yes,
yes,
sorry,
I will make
All right.
just for the fans playing at home. The reason why I hate passive perception is two reasons. I hate the idea that you can be worse at something by trying.
Yes.
And it also can make things very difficult. Like, it becomes not fun to surprise people, where every time you walk into a room and that guy's got a knife and there's a hidden door. You know what I mean? Like, you need a little romance sometimes, a little romance. But I will be mindful of the perceptive nature of our Dark Lords.
I got a 20, a dirty 20. Oh, I mean, it's all there.
Dirty
21.
Actually, that reminds me of something, Jang Sao, that we need to resolve. A couple of things, because you are a creature of time and fate. You are a Circle of Stars druid, but you also have a little bit of divination wizard. So we got to roll a couple of things here. First, let's find out if you are wheel or woe for the day. So I need you to roll a 20 and tell me if it's odd or even.
Sure.
The way this works is going to affect, hold on a second. It will affect her ability to either help or hinder people going forward here. So roll a 20 and just tell me if it's odd or even.
I got a it's even.
Excellent. That means you are wheel, which means you have the ability to help on attack rolls, ability checks, or saving throws. Should you so decide, you can use your reaction to tilt fate in your favor. And I need you to roll 2 more d20s for your portents for the day, which means you can replace somebody's roll. Your ability checks, saving throws, attack rolls, or attacks that have been made against you.
First one is an 11.
All right, that's good. Statistically significant.
And that's our first 20 of the day, baby.
Hey.
What? Hey, that is the best possible outcome for the divination, because you basically have a guaranteed success for someone at something in your back pocket there. So when the time
So you better be nice to me.
I know, she's gonna be like the boss crits on your face. That's what happens. That will teach them some respect. So when you decide to use those, just let me know that you want to use your portents there. Also, Nahara, for the sake of a little ease, I sent you something that you're going to know momentarily, just so you have a second to read ahead a little bit there.
Okay.
As you all are looking around, Nahara, what was the perception for Thellora and Whittle?
Okay, I have advantage. Let me try it again. The first one was a 4, so I was like, forget it. Let's see what the
This all
second.
seems
Yeah,
legit.
a 10.
Yeah. A lot of people walking around with just 2 legs, Thellora. This place doesn't make any sense. Like, what is this? How are they even balancing?
She just doesn't know. Yeah, she has never left Caliwood, so.
Yeah.
Whittle got a 24.
24.
On the die, Uriah got a 28.
I got a 36 for.
Yeah, and, well, 30, I just appreciate it. You know, it makes sense for you two in particular that stuff you haven't noticed has been negative 100% of the time. So you two in particular being like, makes a lot of sense. So with Daredevil-like radar, the two of you, especially Nahara with that 36, notice that warriors wearing distinctive red plate armor with wicked sharp blades extending from their shoulder pauldrons are moving across the bazaar in haste, pushing their way through the crowd as if looking for something or someone. And you all see Nahara's eyes get that same blue-white glow as an odd knowledge is pumped into your mind, Nahara.
Yes, those guards over there, they're peacekeepers. They're guards of the Harmonium, members of the Harmonium. I guess they're called hardheads. But
Are they warriors?
Well, they're guards, and they're here to keep the peace in Sigil. I just it seems that they're looking for somebody, but they are quite zealous sometimes. Although lawful, can be quite zealous in their demeanor.
Oh, they're the authorities, and we're visitors here. I mean, surely, we should let them do their job.
You see, as they're moving through the bazaar, they start like pulling people out of the stalls. Mages, mind flayers, liches, death knights, demons, devils of all stripes. They start gathering up, and you see one of the guards turns and looks at your direction and nods, and they start heading that way.
Oh.
And you, Whittle, you hear, psst, 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 hey, Whittle,
What?
Whittle.
Wait a minute. I think I recognize that voice. Who is it?
As you turn and look, you see Tasala, that same spiky-haired halfling, the one you just saw get banished, is hiding behind a stall nearby. And he says, the hardheads are hunting down every adventurer, mercenary, mage, and hero in the city. The prison will be filled to overflowing by nightfall. You 5 cannot afford to be captured. Come with me. Quickly, come on. Wait.
Yeah, right behind you. I thought you were vaporized. I'm glad to see you're still alive.
That's kind of confusing thing, but yeah, come on. Do you all go after him?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Congratulations on your survival, I suppose.
Sort of. It was what was it you told me to say? Come with me if you want to live. Yeah. Okay. All right. Come on. And as you all go running off through the bazaar of the bazaar with the guards of the Harmonium in close pursuit, I think that is a good place for us to take a little break. Let's just do a quick 10 here because we actually still have quite a lot that has to happen here. So we're gonna do a quick 10 minutes. However, during this 10, we are gonna open up the giveaways. So pay attention to chat. A lot of times they're ahead of me. It is very possible that the code is already appearing in chat. And we were gonna tell you who wins at the end. So don't go nowheres. Quick 10 where we're gonna hydrate or dihydrate, and we will be right back. Hello and welcome back. Again, sorry for a little bit of our technical snafus here, you all. We are literally doing this from 3 different countries. We are an international ensemble, which is called for varying levels of chat delay here. So we're managing the best that we can. Before I forget, okay, all right, we got 5 of these. Keep track of how many times I forget to do this. But you know when I didn't forget? Today, Beadle and Grimm giveaway. 30 minutes before the end, 10 minutes before we'll announce, we'll run it, the giveaway 30 minutes before the end, and it will run for 10 minutes, and then we will give you the winners when we give you the winners of all the other things that we're doing. But you know who the real winners are here today? All of us for getting to watch these wonderful people perform. And with that, I take us back into our story as you all are being ushered through the streets of Sigil by a halfling that you just watched get vaporized by a demigod. And yet, here he is before you, rushing through. But as you are running through, the stalls of the Bazaar, which again is a place where you can buy literally anything, a gnome stands up holding handfuls of parchments as you're running by and says, in the forgotten jungles of a distant world, explore ageless ruins trapped between dimensions. If that's too tame, do you seek secrets of a ruined keep once home to powerful users of magic? Or do you want to travel to a dying world where hope for the future burns away to ash, but where great treasures remain to be found by those who are quick enough? Maps, I got maps. Anybody want maps?
And Whittle just grabs one.
Wait, who grabs one?
Whittle.
No, you gotta pay for those, lady.
Oh, God.
Uriah
Whatever
grabs.
he has.
Yeah, Uriah actually throws like a handful of coins. I think
Thanks,
they're all
Uriah.
platinum.
Sorry, we're kind of in a hurry.
Just a wait. Oh, whoa! Take all three. Whoa, my goodness! Wait, who is this? Your face on these gold coins? And like, why do you look like a zombie? All right, as you all keep running through here, having grabbed these three maps, you all see at a different shop a Glabrezu, which is a four-armed demon with crab claws, but is wearing a little bow tie as you walk by. And he just looks out and he says, oi, you lot look like you've seen some stuff. I'll pay top coin for what's in those brains of yours. 10 minutes a gold piece for, you met any celebrities, killed any celebrities? Come on, you can tell Mickey. Look, I got dream spheres here. You got dinner date with a captivating actor, hang gliding down Mount
killed Strahd, bye.
Sorry, Mickey. Bow ties are cool. Bow ties are cool.
Jang Sao yells back, have you ever heard of space hamsters?
Miniature giant space hamsters? Yeah, I love those fluffy buggers.
Met one, worked with one, fantastic.
As you all are running past, even further in, you see two Minotaur candy makers with shelves that are just lined with sugary confections. All kinds of candy.
Ooh! Thellora's gonna gallop toward those sugar cubes and candy.
Mm-hmm.
And
you see, this is probably the strangest thing you've seen yet, Thellora, because in a way, a Minotaur is your exact opposite. You're like a horse from the waist down. They're like a bull from the waist up. And they sort of look like...
Interesting. I suppose pants are much easier for you to put on.
Oh, that is, normally they make us wear pants in the Bazaar, but that is advantageous, I suppose. I think having four legs would be cool, though. You probably can run much faster when you're gonna boom, right?
Thellora begins to do different poses and jumps with her legs, so they're sort of doing a little pose off sort of situation there.
Roll a d6 for me, Thellora.
Oh, they're so pretty. 4.
One of the Minotaurs picks up a sponge cake and he says, "You're so pretty, but you eat this and you can change your style whenever you want. For about
what?
10 minutes. Your whole look. You can change it up. No."
Whoa. Thella's gonna hoist her sword and reach toward the cake and take it from him, keeping her eyes on his eyes, and she's going to sniff it. What is this?
Smells great.
I've never smelled anything like this before.
It is an ethereal sponge cake.
I must take a bite.
So, when you take a bite, I'm going to give you here in chat what happens when you eat this cake there. I'll give it in our chat. Does anybody else take a piece of candy? I'll come back to you for what you actually do. I want to give you a chance to see what it is. Does anybody else take any candy?
Yes, because I realized I was muted. And Nahara hasn't had any sweets since the Witchlight Carnival, so very much would like even though she doesn't really eat, but need to. But
Roll a d6 for me, Nahara.
4.
That what I just put in our chat is also the exact same thing that yours will do when you eat it.
Oh.
Does anybody else take any candy?
You know, I haven't actually eaten food since I ascended to the throne, so I'd actually quite like a piece of it. Is there a barbecue stand around here anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, do you want barbecue? Do you want barbecued demon, barbecued terrace, barbecued halfling? They're free range though, cruelty free.
I do enjoy halfling barbecue, but not of that sort. So
in this type of place, you must be precise with your language. Yeah, but I'm sure.
I suppose something traditional, beef, lamb, pork.
All I got is candy, though, friend.
Oh, right. I guess I'll have a piece.
Roll a d6 for me.
Sure thing.
Jang Sao, I thought I saw you talking, but I didn't hear anything.
Yes, Jang Sao will definitely take a piece of candy also. Ooh, a piece of candy.
Also, give me a d6 there, Jang Sao.
Sure
piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Our production overlord's over here ruining my surprises by just like busting out what all the candy does. I'm being all coy over here. I'm like, here's what yours does. They're like, here you go. Here's all of it.
Here's everything.
Yeah.
You said a D6, right?
Yes.
That would be a 4.
And then yours also does. This is great that all three of you got the same thing here, by the way. Does Whittle take any candy?
Well, everyone's eating candy. I think Whittle's going to be writing on the wall next to this candy store. They went that way.
Pointing in a different direction, presumably? Yeah. Perfect.
I think she writes it in blood. She dips her fingernail in her vial and writes this way.
Oh my God.
For those of you that got the ethereal sponge cake, do any of you eat it now? You don't have to. You see what it does, but do you eat it now?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells good. I mean,
since Thellora, since you got it first, Thellora, what happens when you eat it?
Thellora sniffs the cake, and she just the horse heart of her brain just answers for her, and she bites right into it, sinking her teeth into this sponge cake, and it's like she's floating in the clouds. And when she lands on all four of her hooves, she sort of rears up, and when you're watching in real time, you see her hair grow by the foot, curling and swirling and around, and it like starts crawling along your legs and down the street and all around. And she seems completely oblivious until someone steps on it, and she's like, "Oh, me head! Oh!"
I mean, witnessing this.
Looking around.
Do Nahara or Jang Sao eat their cake now that they saw what happened to her hair?
Absolutely, yes.
Nahara, what happens when you eat it?
And Nahara is actually taking a bite into this as this is happening. So it's like a little too late to not. You see her hair grows in thickness and length, like probably to like 20 feet. And it has that effect of like when you're underwater. So it's like completely up and out and like kind of like flowing as though it was like floating around in water, but it is cotton candy pink.
And last but certainly not least, Jang Sao.
Jang Sao sees this and thinks to herself, "Oh, it's growing out of their head, so certainly she will." She's always dreamed of having bigger antlers. Bigger is better, horns and antlers. So she's like, yeah. And she takes a huge bite excitedly, and waits for it to happen, and just looks up and sees if her horns grow. But instead, since she's a satyr, all the hair grows out of her body, so she grows a ton of hair from her body down to the floor. She looks like Cousin It.
Amazing.
So now she's just a walking bushy Cousin It with horns sticking out, and She's extremely disappointed. It's the same color as her fur. It's dark, black, purple, blue.
Is you all are eating this and like all these crazy hair things are taken and Uriah is staring at his frosted coconut fudge here. You see Tasala the halfling turns and looks at you all and looks at Whittle. He says, yeah, I know you told me that you all were easily distracted, but I didn't think you were this easily distracted. All right, listen. I've also had a day. Yes, banished by the Lady of Pain. Yes, was sent into a maze that looked like a silent, empty version of Sigil to wander for all time. That was kind of a downer because all I did was try and worship her. Not really sure what's going to make her happy. This is highly indicative of my romantic life in the past because I thought I did what was the right thing and it clearly was not the wrong thing. But while I was there sort of wandering around trying pondering my plight, you guys showed up. You came, you rescued me, which I thought was impossible. I don't know how you got into that maze. Nobody gets in or out of the Lady of Pain's maze, but you guys did this for me a few hours from what is now. In exchange for saving me, you told me, go to the Fortune Wheels Casino, secure access to a specific cleaning supplies cupboard. There's a magical portal hidden there, which I did. And then I had to pass a message on to a beholder that recently arrived on Sigil from a spell jamming ship, which I easily sorted out. It looked like a big fish, but there was a scratch on the side. That was weird. The beholder had some kind of weird name, like Zanzibar or something. And we have to find a way into the prison, and we will meet you there. Wait. This is what you told me to tell Zanzibar. That we have a way into the prison. We will meet you there. Before that, find out everything you can about what the Harmonian are hunting for. And that's what you told me to tell him, and I did. And then you told me to come back there and tell you that all of this, and that I got to get you to the casino now. Any questions?
Several.
A few. Yes.
Can we walk and talk? You just so easily distracted. I thought it was just me.
All right. Yes, let's walk and talk.
Sure.
Now, if I understand you correctly, this is some sort of temporal loop that we have not entered from our end yet, but you have. You're at the other end of it. We rescued you at some point
from an impossible prison. By the way, your face is so smooth. Like you look better with the beard thing that you were going. Like you're so lithe.
Oh my God! Is this Beard Quest?
You said something about Beard Quest too. That mean a lot was happening, a lot of vital exposition. But yeah, maybe. Well, hey,
yes.
Spoiler alert! You get the beard, buddy.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
that's good to know. All right,
Jang Sao looks over and says, "You call that a beard?"
No, I'm afraid my candy didn't do that. It just well. It would be a waste. I'm not injured right now, so I won't eat it yet. Yes, where exactly are we going?
Well, perfect timing as you kind of come around the corner and as you sprint along the alleyways and back streets, the look of the buildings around you begins to grow more refined. The shops of the market ward are replaced with fine townhouses and even finer estates, but a number of imposing-looking stone buildings loom in the rising distance. The most formidable looking of those is an edifice topped by a multitude of towers, with one huge structure rising higher than all the others, seemingly shaped from massive blades of metal and stone. And when you look upon this, see, everybody's gotten some knowledge up until now, right? Like everybody's had a divine. You know what?
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna learn this at the same time.
Yeah.
As you look at it, all of your eyes glow that blue-white glow, and you're aware that this is the prison, simply called a prison. It rises above the courthouses of Sigil as a reminder that what happens to those who flout the laws of the city and the will of the Lady of Pain. Among those incarcerated in the prison are a who's who of city crime bosses, interplanar warlords, and creatures whose mere presence in Sigil marks them a threat to order. And the prison is legendary as a place that is all but impossible to escape from or to break into. And you all come around a corner, and although its exterior appearance appears little different from the estates that spread around it, a giant glowing marquee announcing Fortune's Wheel sets it apart. A steady stream of people pass through a gold revolving front door in both directions. Many of those leaving look slightly more haggard than those going in. And you're in front of a casino.
So this is where we need to go?
It is. Okay, so you told me some very important things, and while he's talking, Whittle, give me a perception check.
16.
Right when he's beginning to talk, you see coming out of the casino a very familiar auto gnome. What does Riddle look like?
Oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh.
Riddle has kind of a robot's body. She's a little taller than Whittle, so probably 5 foot something. She has cyber wires coming out of her head to kind of create this gray looking faux hawk. On the one side of her head, she has gears that are exposed because she is an autognome. She's clockwork. Her arms are made out of one sword, and I forgot what the other one was, but they're weapons.
That's what it is now. It doesn't matter what it was. It's what it is.
How about just 2 stabby arms?
Mm.
And her feet are made out of wheels. So she rolls around very quickly everywhere she goes.
And does she have good luck or bad luck in the casino?
Do I need to roll for it?
Let fate decide. We'll do even or odd. Even it was good, odd it was bad.
All right, let's see here. Odd.
Cleaned out, Riddle.
Oh.
And Riddle, as you come rolling out, you see these 5 strange people, one of which is your maker.
Oh my god! Mom! Sorry! Whittle! Last time I called you Mom, you told me not to do that. How did you get here? I thought you were trapped in Barovia. Oh my gosh, I have so much to tell you since I left Barovia, and you made a ship for me, and I caught up with my friends in Wild Space, and now I'm here, and we were like in Kryn for a little while, and I thought I just lost you to Barovia forever. What are you doing here? It's a long story. I'm still trying to figure that out, but she goes in to hug her and realizes that she's covered in spikes. Luckily, she's an autognome, so she doesn't feel it and embraces Whittle.
Oh.
You all see this autognome that looks like a vague simulacra of Whittle, and you all are witnessing this exchange right in front of you.
Oh, that's a touching reunion. This is your
Fascinating.
child?
Yeah, sorta. I made her. I taught her everything I know. She's really good at stealing, so watch your pockets.
Oh.
I don't have any pockets, but all right, I'll watch them if I did.
It's good.
Did she say stabby arms earlier?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Jang Sao walks up to Riddle and goes, "Can you just?"
Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to try being a hairdresser. Yeah, of course. And
So I can see.
she gives Jang Sao like the worst haircut of their life.
I was about to say, I know we don't have a character sheet for Riddle as such. Just give me a D20. This is going to be athletics/performance.
Oh my gosh.
Let's just see how this
Decide what
works.
kind of hairstyle she gets.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god!
We're just rolling for fashion right
This is
now.
athletics?
Amazing.
Athletics
It's like a
performance.
reverse mohawk.
It's art. What do we end up with there?
12.
It's serviceable, Jang Sao. It's serviceable. You know, it's kind of a bowl, a little dated. You know, like I mean, this was like Sigil fashion in 1380. It's currently 1480, so it's yeah.
Jang Sao turns to the side and sees a puddle on the floor and looks down at a reflection and goes, "Ugh."
Oh, you
This
look
thing
beautiful.
I
It's
see.
like way back in the My Sigil days. Remember that website where like everybody was taking these like photos from up above and they had like the bowl cut with like the side swept bangs?
I only
You look really
understood a few
trendy.
of those words. Okay, I need a website and photo and other.
Are you from the past?
The past. I mean,
We
I'm
have so much to catch you up on.
I'm from the present from my perspective, but of course there's multiple timelines involved.
Yes.
So I do suspect that we are at different points in the relative time stream. I will need some sort of chalkboard and some bits of string to explain it fully. but it's just a theory at this point.
Thumbtacks.
Hey, sorry,
Okay.
everyone. I don't mean to interfere with this touching reunion here with your simulacra. I read a book once about a man and a monster, and it was kind of like a meditation on humanity, and it kind of went poorly. The monster ended up killing everybody, so, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with this, though. But we probably should move this along because you guys got to find the cupboard at the back of the building. Also,
Okay.
you Riddle. Hi, my name's Tassala. Now that I'm stuck in an infinite time loop, but I've done my part here, perhaps we could go get a beaverage. Maybe get to know each other a little better.
I would love a beaverage. What's that?
It's a drink, but that's how they say it in like.
Oh, I can't drink anything. I'll explode, but I'll go with you.
Fantastic. One other thing. You when you told me what to do, you said this was important. Something about the fate of all reality hanging in the balance. Think Tassala. I have a very small halfling brain, okay? I am all looks, folks. You said it was you, Blue Lady, Nahara. Hi.
Hi.
I feel like we're getting somewhere in our relationship. Nahara, you didn't necessarily start too keen on me, but we're getting there. But you said you grabbed me by my face. You grabbed me by my face like this, and it's weird because you have such nice hands, but they're cold though. It's where I felt a lot of conflicting emotions when you touched me. Honestly, but your husband was there, so that made it a little odder. But you said to me, when the Archmage talks of you in the past tense, run.
When the Archmage talks of you in the past tense, run.
Yeah, I mean, it was different when you said it. It was more melodic. I mean, it's sort of like down here in the chest. I can't quite simulate it, but yeah, that is the thing you said to me to tell you.
Oh, so when we eventually meet an Archmage, and they refer to us in the past tense, we must run.
Yeah, that's you were quite emphatic about this because apparently running is not what you guys usually do. You're kind of hero types and you like to be like, but I mean, apparently you just got worked. And so that's why you were like, don't do that again.
Right. Did they happen to say...
No, I'm sorry.
Please.
Nothing. I was just wondering if there exists any sort of journal and quill in which can pass through different times and spaces, because I really ought to write down some of the things that I obviously have forgotten.
Well, if there is
But I've
such a
already had.
device, you neglected to mention it. So I'm going to go ahead and say, due to the acausal nature of the adventure we find ourselves in, I'm going to say that is not a thing.
No. You should look into it, though.
That is an excellent idea. I wish you thought of it when you set me upon this path.
I could write it down now, but I guess that would... No, never mind.
Well, I mean, you may not want to forget. Yeah, yes, King Uriah. And you like blush every time I call you King Uriah. Also, where's that like ghost? He's such a jerk. But sorry. Anyway,
the ghost does appear just like this. Yes. Did they happen to say Did we happen to say which Archmage?
I'm hazy on the details. You all said a lot more, and I think you saw it just wasn't sticking, which, I mean, in my defense, I am just a halfling, sir. But you all were adamant about that part. Past tense equals run. They were like, Tassala, say it. Again, she touched me, cold fingers. That's weird. If you're into it, I don't mind. Zone of safety. Also, you guys' hair looked completely different last time. What is this? But
Did I have a beard? Did I have a beard? Did I have a beard?
Yeah. No,
I had a
you
beard.
with the beard, yes.
I had a beard.
No cotton candy hair, no 20-foot like tangled up, no like emo satyr thing. I mean, you told me this wasn't a phase, but I mean, it looks like this is a phase actually. That's what that looks like.
Watch it, little one.
You look good.
So is this temporary?
I hope it's temporary.
Is this temporary?
Right when you say that, the Minotaur says, only 10 minutes!
Thank you!
You
We'll
guys
go
should
kill him.
move along. Back of the building.
Right, cupboard, past tense, Archmage, Archmage past tense, run, cupboard, back of building.
Yep, beard.
Anything else?
Yeah. Not for now, and thank you for saving me, which you're gonna do, although I have no idea how.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
You're welcome already, yes.
But I mean, we obviously do it. We do it at some point.
Exactly, yeah.
And of course, if we don't do it, then the paradox created could destroy everything.
You know, I think part of the reason why you chose me is I have no concept of such things. So I'm just gonna go have a beaverage with this hot stabby auto gnome. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah. Does Riddle say anything else before she rolls off?
Yeah, Riddle actually extends her hand to Whittle to expose 2 daggers that she stole somewhere in the bazaar. Whittle, I noticed that you don't have heels, and you're pretty short, so you could maybe figure out how to attach these to your boots. And Whittle breaks off the handle on both daggers and attaches them to her boots of speed.
Excellent. So instead of 4'5", how tall is she now?
5 feet.
Perfect. 5 inches, literal stiletto heels.
Yeah,
literally.
Now she's the same height as Riddle, because Riddle is technically the same height as Whittle, because she's made to look like her, but she's got the big wheels for feet.
Just for the record, that appearance by Riddle was voted on by the good people of Idle Champions. Every week we might
thank
have
you,
strange
everybody.
people show up. Hopefully they don't all have the same character connection and be on the hook like poor Meagan interact with herself. But speaking as somebody that's interacting with myself most of the time, I know that feel.
That was fun,
So,
though.
All right. As Riddle and Tasala roll off and you all make your way into the casino floor, give me a perception check.
Ooh.
24.
24.
24.
24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You all are highly perceptive. The Fortune's Wheel is an institution in the city of Sigil here, and there's all manner of wonders to be found here. But the casino is run by a bunch of demons. So as you look around, everything here, everyone on the staff are all sorts of various kind of infernal creatures. Most of them are Mesoloths. Mesoloths look kind of like these 4-armed crickets with flaming eyes and pitchforks. But the first thing you all notice is none of them are paying attention to you. They're all paying attention to a bunch of harmonium peacekeepers. More of those same people you saw that are clearly in here pacing around, and the demons are clearly not happy about it.
Oh. Well, I do speak Infernal if anybody needs to find out where the restroom is. They are paying attention to those guards, and I don't seem very happy about it. Should I go ask them? What, maybe we could find out something about these guards? I asked
While you all are discussing this, you see a group of well-dressed tieflings surround the Fortune's Wheel, the central game and attraction of the Fortune's Wheel Casino. And they spin all 3 wheels until it finally lands on a symbol of a crown. And a cloud of red pandas appear and bow low to the ground around the tiefling, who yells out, "Bow before me, red pandas, for I am your god now!" And everyone stops and is paying attention and clapping to someone having rolled crown. And you think you might be able to just get past all of this.
Yes. Or we could just go.
Skedaddle, as it were.
They seem distracted, yes.
Go.
Is you all easily make your way back towards the back of the casino. There is, in fact, a supply cupboard that says staff only, with a very big lock on it, but has been opened up with just like a playing card stuck in the middle so the door won't close.
Ooh.
Oh.
This must be the place.
We have staffs, don't we?
I mean, I have a rather large staff back at the castle. I mean, there's the butler.
I've brought mine with me.
I didn't pack my staff, no.
Yes.
I'm a druid, so I definitely have one.
You literally can summon one with a spell called Shillelagh. So you just kind of like, boop, stick. You know, I have stick. Yeah.
No, it counts. It counts.
It counts. I won't even make you all roll because the overwhelming majority of you are very powerful magic users. You're also aware that not only was this locked, this door was also heavily warded, but something or someone has broken those wards. Tasala said he would secure your way in, and apparently he did.
Oh, way to go.
All right,
to
then,
solo.
let's go.
Is you open this door, Whittle. Despite having been in Barovia for so long, you have still found a way to keep abreast of like various interspatial magics. A couple centuries ago, you were trying to just teleport out of Barovia. It didn't work, but it did make you kind of sensitive to some things, and you do realize there is a portal at the back of this room, but as you come in, there are 6 small robots sitting there. They are duodrones, modrons, very small little robots that all open their eyes at the same time and say in unison, "Oh, hello, is there a mess for us to clean up?"
Is anyone else seeing this?
You didn't? Did you make these as well? Are these yours too?
Are you our creator? Are you our mommy?
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Mommy,
That means you have to do what I tell you
mommy, yes, we will all serve the mother. Yes. Is there anything the mother would like us to clean up? And they all hold up their arms, and they have just like various cleaning attachments on their arms.
Wait, is the only thing you do clean?
That is what we are programmed to do. Yes.
Oh,
We have
right.
come
I
from
made
the
you.
clockwork.
I knew that.
Yes.
You were gonna say
Did you
something,
make? Did you
Thellora?
make all of the modrons in the clockwork Nirvana?
Yes.
Mhm.
All hail the maker. All hail the maker. All hail the maker. And yes, Thellora, sorry, you were saying something?
Oh no, I wasn't. I
Oh.
mean, if there's something you want to clean, I have a very sharp sword. And she sort of looks over at Jang, and she's like, "If I could possibly shave with this, you know, if you're having
Oh.
trouble speaking through all the hair on your face."
That would be.
And Thelora's just gonna start like shaving it with her sword, shaving some of the hair off of Jang's face.
The same thing. Give me athletics, Thellora. There's a big
Oh
old
my
sword. You got it.
Oh
You-
no!
you're
I cut her
you-
nose off.
She's not even using it. Now you'll smell terribly.
That was close. 19.
Woo!
It's great, Thellora, but it's legit like centaur chic though.
It's like a pompadour, like or something.
She signed Thellora in the back of my head.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
But it works with the horns, Jang Sao. It's weird. It works somehow. Like it's a vibe.
Jang doesn't know what she looks like yet. There's nothing reflective to look at, so she just assumes it's great because she sees this look of just absolute joy and awe and the Lord just taking in her artwork. And I look at her and I say, "Thank you, I think." But at least it's short, so she's happy.
Perfect. Excellent. As you all are standing there, Uriah, while these modrons are having a divine moment, as you look around the room, you and Nahara, with your obscenely high passive perception, you realize this is a storage closet the same that you would expect to find anywhere. There's cleaning supplies, mops, like nothing unusual, but there is a large basin about the size of a bathtub in the corner. And as you kind of peek over it, it doesn't have a bottom.
I think I found
That's
where we're meant to go.
that's strange. But
To take a
were
bath?
we supposed to be in a cabinet?
Well,
Or is this, or were we in the cabinet and this is what we're supposed to?
Yes, they refer to this room as the cabinet. Are you a friend of the maker?
Oh.
Very close friend of the maker. We've been friends for lifetimes.
this.
Maker, would you like us to return to our home of the clockwork nirvana of Mechanist to spread the gospel of your coming?
My goodness.
Yes.
And what
Yes,
is your
definitely.
name? What should we announce your coming as?
Lord Whittle.
All hail the coming of Lord Whittle. All hail the coming of Lord Whittle. And they just like turn and roll out of the room.
Carry on.
They were like, all hail the coming of Lord Whittle. And you now have a Motron Apostles, Whittle.
Excellent.
How peculiar.
As Uriah notices this bottomless tub, Whittle feels a leaf in her pocket. It's a razor vine leaf. And she pulls it out and crushes it in her hand and blows it. And she casts Warp Sense to reveal any other potential portals that might be in this room.
So, you know that feeling when you walk by a club and the music is like loud and you kind of hear the outside, they're like, East, and you kind of feel it, but it's like you're just going by?
Mhm.
You get that times like 40,000, Whittle. Like there's infinite portals in Sigil. Like
Can we
all
see them?
around you. No, this is just something you're aware of, Whittle.
Just a sense.
However,
Okay.
in that basin is such a portal right here in front of you.
I'm gonna try and walk towards it. Like even if I can't see it and I just sense it.
When you look inside the tub, you see the same thing Nahara and Uriah had. It just doesn't have a bottom. It's just like blackness. But you are 1,000% sure that that is a portal.
Just gonna jump in.
You see, Whittle's-
Bye. See you on the other side.
I suppose we follow her?
Yes, and Nahara will take Uriah's hand. If we've done this before, then
No, too much information.
Then I suppose no, not that.
Not,
Then I
well,
suppose.
yeah.
Then I suppose this is what we're meant to do because we've done it. Yes.
Yes, we've already done this, and we know that we have to save the halfling at some point, or else we would not have seen him again. So,
Correct.
yes, all right.
Shall we?
Yes.
And they jump in and promptly vanish, leaving only Jang Sao and Thellora. You're gonna be at max capacity to get through this thing, but you probably can squeeze in.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not really sure I can. I've never bathed in a bathtub before. I mean, I usually bathe in the lake. You know, it's enough room and I can splash around in it and have fun. This is a bathtub. But what am I supposed to do with this?
Yes, it's been quite some time we don't take about. Perhaps head first, and then I suppose with your side, I wouldn't go 4 legs at once. You just get stuck. So head first, back feet in the air, like I taught you earlier during the painting, and then whatever's left, I'll push you in.
All right. You know what I'm going to do, Jang? I'm going to gallop to the back of the room, and I'm going to take a running leap. And if I don't get all the way in, you can shove my hindquarters. Yes.
Jang Sao realizes, well, that's not very necessary, but you know what? I kind of want to see this happen anyways. So she goes, yes, that sounds like an excellent idea.
Thellora gallops forward, leaps into the air. In Jang Sao, you have a flash of awareness, a glimpse of one of the infinite potential futures that you always exist in. She is absolutely not going to make it unless you intervene with your wheel ability to help her. She's coming down completely confident, and her head is just not going to clear that shelf. It just won't. It's just like.
So Jang is just watching, almost like if popcorn existed. She's just watching to see what happens.
No.
And the moment Thellora is right above the basin, Jang kind of does a measurement. Oh, Thellora here. Basin. Oh no. And yes, I would like to use my wheel.
You know, it is the strangest thing, Thellora, as you are heading over, you also realize right about the time that Jang Sao does that you are not going to clear this shelf. And oddly enough, it just sort of like buckles and falls out of the way a little bit. Just a hinge gave it just the right time as you shoot down the hole, and she vanishes, leaving you alone, Jang Sao.
Jang Sao, quite proud of herself, brushes off her, the hair that was cut earlier, but just brushes off her coat. All in a day's work, and then she gracefully hops in.
As you all slide through the darkness, something different happens to you, Thellora. As you are plummeting what seems like an oddly long amount of time, your hooves find solid ground once again, and you find yourself standing outside. Nowhere you recognize, just woods, grass, no sign of your friends.
Uriah, Master Uriah. Jang Sao, Widdle, Your Grace Nahara. Did anybody land here?
Sadly for you, they did not. And you start hearing the click of hooves as a rider all in black on a black horse is coming your direction. Tell me, warrior, of these gods and monsters and timeless, infinite creatures, why do you think the Raven Queen chose you? You are mighty, but you are finite. Why were you called?
Well, I fight for my God. And my people live by the sword.
So
we
by
are known for our power and our strength. And it is my turn.
You would say by the sword, you both protect life and grant death.
Well, if it need be. I mean, it's just a sword. Don't take it so personally.
I'm sure many people who've been on the wrong end of that sword took it quite personally.
It is what we are, and it's what we do.
He pushes his head back, and he has a face that you don't particularly recognize, Thellora. He has the visage of a man that is hardened by countless battles. A long black mustache, and his horse, the bit rather has spikes on the side of it, so it's got like tusks like a boar. He is clearly scarred and armored, and something about him instantly lets you know that this is no mere man, as he just sort of looks at you and nods. And he says, "What is the name of your god, Thellora?"
My God or my people?
Your god?
Montuma.
Montuma.
She is referred to as the Big Sister.
And what does the Big Sister ask of you?
Thellora looks slightly troubled at that question. Solemnar is within the mountain. It is our job as the Luma, the Sentinels, to make sure that he stays in there.
That sounds
He is kept down by a very powerful magic. But one day we know that he wants to return, and when he returns, it is bad for all of us.
How do you know this is true? Has anyone checked?
Well, Thellora looks troubled again. This is a lore that has been passed down through my people, and obviously I was chosen for this.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, sure. What if someone just told you that as a way to bind your people there? You must admit it would be a very effective prison to say, oh no, remain in these lands forever and don't leave because your great enemy will emerge and blah, 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 right?
I have lived by her light, and it is what I was born to serve. I do not know who I am without serving her.
He sort of rides his horse a little closer to you, and he says, you are an instrument. An instrument of both life and death. You shouldn't resist this. When the time comes, understand. Everyone's default reaction is to preserve life, and life is good. I also enjoy life. I enjoy these trees. I enjoy this grass. I enjoy this land. But it is all temporary. Eventually, all descends into darkness, and the cycle begins again. When the time comes to make a choice, and you will know when the choice must be made, remember that life and death are twins. They are infinite. You give and you take away. And he holds his hand up, and you see right down the middle of your sword, half of the blade turns jet black. So there's a steel side and a jet black side.
The sword speaks to me.
Mm-hmm.
The sword also wants what it wants. I despise violence. No, I don't.
No, you don't. Let us not lie to each other here. Although, just because you are good at something doesn't mean you have to take any particular joy in it. It is just, it is not that you hate what is before you so much as you love what is behind, right?
Exactly. I'm prepared to die for my cause. If that's what it must come to. However, I do hope to survive so that I may join my people again.
He reaches in his pouch and he pulls out a coin. And on one side is a green leaf and the other side is a black skull. And he hands it to you. And he says, once you've made it into the mountain, once you see what lay inside, if you wish to speak again, use that. I'll hear you.
This is how I can summon you?
After a manner of speaking.
May I ask who you are?
Arwen is my name. I also am an zealous advocate of both life and death. Some very interesting things lay ahead of you, Thellora.
Me?
Just one thing. Do please remember to duck. And I need all of you to give me dex saves.
My goodness.
As again, an appearance for Arwen, the god of life and death, is voted on by the good people and good players,
Amazing.
Vital Champions.
Dex save.
Dex.
10.
10. 22.
17.
17. Jang Sao, Dex. You are muted, ma'am. Or at least I don't hear you. I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything.
I think I was muted too. I got a 15.
15. Well, while Jang Sao is nope, still not hearing you. While Jang Sao, what, can anybody else hear? Is this just me being weird?
Nope.
No, I don't.
All right, great. While we're sorting out, say something else. Yep, nope, still nothing. While we're sorting out Jang Sao's audio, all of you come piling out of this. Whittle, you in particular, crack your head on the ground pretty painfully as you land, and then they all begin landing on top of you immediately. All the rest of you keep your bearing, but you take eight points of damage of being trampled upon by 2, 4, 8, 10 legs.
As a reaction, she does hold out this one-arm shield that's attached to her arm that has the crest of the Hands of Havoc. For Fizban's platinum shield. Does that help at all?
Sure. You know,
cut down the damage a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I'll let you cut it in half.
All right, perfect.
As you all land, the shouting voices. Yes, sorry. Oh, yeah. Shouting voices are loud beyond the chamber that you've dropped into, which appears to be some kind of holding cell. The space is walled in stone on 3 sides, set with a small barred window at the back and sealed off behind a door of heavy iron bars that make up a 4th wall. A bunk against one wall stands empty. Before I read this, first, let me see. Do we have Jang Sao's audio?
I roll a 9.
Perfect. Got you. Oh, then Jang Sao also cracks her dome there.
Cool.
No.
Awesome. Good to be back. Good to be back.
The back of the horse and roll off.
Uriah will actually offer to Jang Sao that candy from earlier. Here, I knew this would come in handy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Jang Sao looks at Uriah and says, "Thank you," and pops it in her mouth immediately. Doesn't even think about it.
When you eat it, it does heal your wounds completely. However,
this is delicious.
A porcelain commode against the other wall has a goldfish swimming happily in it. Floating in midair before the barred door I need you to know I love you, Gina Darling, and I for all time. A beholder is shouting. Did you know me, fools? This outrage will not stand. Do you know who I am? Beyond the door, dozens of other cells are seen, with corridors between being walked by with well-armed guards in black leather, their faces hooded. Every cell is filled with humanoids, fiends, mind flayers, Githyanki and Githrazi, young dragons, and countless other creatures, all furious as they shout and bang at the bars. And as this beholder is floating, one of its eye stalks rotates around, and it turns around, and you see a bulbous, pinkish purple beholder, unusually large, with jewelry on each of his eye stalks and a pierced lip ring. No, it is myself, the almighty Xanathar, and Stilgar do not share. You miscreants find your own thoughts about... Wait. Yeah, the almighty Xanathar recognizes you. Of course, I am all-knowing. I know all things. I knew who you were in advance before you were coming. The spiky-haired short person told me you were coming. It is good. The Xanathar has your information, so you better have the Xanathar's escape plan ready to go. As your spiky-haired associate get bargained, yes, you will spring the almighty Xanathar. The Xanathar will give the information, yes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay,
We
yes,
were-
I suppose.
We were forewarned that we would encounter. But is that a beholder the sort of thing you are?
Someone great and magnificent, gaze upon the almighty Xanathar's gleaming mucus sacks. What manner of creature is this? All of you go on 2 disgusting meat sticks that you balance upon, but this one balances upon 4. The almighty Xanathar is fascinated and captivated by this. And he comes floating towards you, and all 8 of his eyeballs just begin ogling you, Thellora. Interesting, fascinating, yes.
Thelora's like, she's looking at this thing like, and she sort of turns back to Nahara. Says, what is this?
The almighty Xanathar.
The almighty Xanathar, apparently.
Yes. Listen, the almighty Xanathar is infinite, and of course his will is absolute, and all those who obey him are. The Xanathar does not like anything other than respect, but perhaps there could be some sort of compensation the almighty Xanathar could offer the horse lady to, in private, perhaps step upon the almighty Xanathar.
Wow.
Whoa. Are you trying to help us, or like, are you friend or foe?
Now see here, that's hardly appropriate.
The almighty Xanathar is here for a business. You all are to free the almighty Xanathar, and he will provide the information, although the almighty Xanathar is prepared to offer the information in advance, because of course you would not do anything to betray him, because whoever could would not last my wrath.
Jang Sao, Jang Sao cannot take her eyes off this fish, and says, keeping eyes on the fish, says to the Xanathar, "You say you will give us what we need, but I'm afraid that's enough. This fish, what if?
Wait. First of all, hey, eyes over here. These almighty Xanathar's eyes are in here. Look at this central eye. Do not gaze upon the stalks. Do not gaze upon Stilgar. You've got a familiar vibe. I've never met you, Satyr, and yet there's something about you.
No.
Something about the almighty Xanathar never misses a vibe check.
I don't believe we met. No." And she just kind of looking at the giant eye, like, "No, I don't believe we've met."
Yes.
Still kind of catching, looks over, trying to sneak over, and looks at the fish.
The almighty Xanathar is going to have to take slightly more drastic actions to heed these negotiations, and you all feel something very unusual. As he looks at you from this central eye, you feel all of the magic in you cease. Which is strange, because all of you are innately magical creatures. It is very off-putting, but it's almost like half of your senses, half of your life just gets shut off. Just by looking at you, he can turn off magic.
All the glowing gold from Jang Sao's chains and her eyes, her pins and everything suddenly stopped glowing.
Now, see here, that's very rude.
Question, Dungeon Master.
Yes.
This is an anti-magic field, yes?
It is.
you guys might notice that Uriah's sort of glowing halo keeps going.
How'd you do that?
Oh, well, it was an artifact I encountered. It can't be suppressed, you see. But there's no fiends here, so I don't see as any of the other abilities would really come into play.
Blah 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 blah. I think there is a vital exposition to give out, right? Yes, hold on. You appear to be a queen of some sort. That is interesting, fascinating. The Almighty Xanathar will hear your questions after he delivers his information. Would that be acceptable to one of your stature, Your Highness? And since he doesn't have legs, he just sort of rotates down for a second and then back up again.
I don't understand what you are doing, but yeah, yes, I find that agreeable. But let's not be rude.
The Almighty
give us our
Xanathar
powers back, Alicia.
Showing respect, all right? The Almighty Xanathar does not have to do so because he is the supreme being. It is all you who should be bound to the Almighty Xanathar if we're just going to call things as they are. However, we are in the middle of negotiations and the Xanathar is nothing if not humble, and therefore I will show the proper obedience to you. Yes?
Lovely. Please carry on.
So, here is what has happened in these outrageous circumstances of the Almighty Xanathar. I was brought here for parking violations with my spell jamming ship, Silgar. They had the audacity to park me in this cell where I can see it. Look, gaze upon it, gaze upon the ship. Look outside. And when he says this, all of you feel something that you can't see. Grab your face and turn it so that you look out the window. And you see a massive vessel. Whittle, in also Jang Sao, in your travels, you definitely have seen spelljammers before. For the rest of you, it looks like a ship that's not floating in water. It's just floating in space, docked. And it looks like a gigantic goldfish, but there is a ragged scar down the side of it where clearly it's been rammed by something.
I don't understand. It's some manner of airship, is that it?
It is a spelljammer. It can travel across air and sea and sky. I had an accident where I was run into by some fools previously, and I was on my way back to Sigil to get my ship repaired, and I merely parked it in the wrong place, although there is no wrong place for the Almighty Xanathar, because all that I gaze upon is mine as I will it. And yet the Mercy Killers came along and put me in jail because of it. And then that halfling got close to me just before the Harmonian squad grabbed up the beholder and dragged the beholder, that was me, and dragged me away to the streets of Sigil. And he told me that you all would come in here and get me out of the prison, and all I had to do was find out why the Harmonium are challenging all the adventurers and powerful figures in the city, and I have found out what that is.
What is it?
Oh, what is it?
No, what is that?
No, you must ask far more nicely of the Almighty Xanathar, because the Almighty Xanathar has not been in love with your tone up until this point. I don't know.
Well, I have two questions, if I may, Almighty Xanathar.
Oh, yes, now
First
I
question.
Like this, yes. Wait, about lower. Yes, excellent. I also love the hairstyle. That is very centaur-core. Yes, please, continue.
First question about your mighty ship here.
Yeah?
Just curious, asking for a friend. Did you happen to park? Did you happen to park somewhere on a Thursday? There was street sweeping between the hours of 2 and 4, and on a one-way street.
You know, that is what they said, but this is a timeless place, so when can you even say when it's Thursday and when it's between 1 and 4? It's just when they just want to give out tickets, when they just want to hassle the Almighty Xanathar. That's what that was, you know? Why are my single tax dollars even going to pay for that? I feel like there's crime and murder taking place, and they're going to incarcerate the Almighty Xanathar for a parking violation? That is like, wait, the Almighty Xanathar is not done monologuing. Someone is my criminal capability. That would be like if when I went back to Waterdeep, they tried to apprehend the Almighty Xanathar for tax evasion. That would be foolish. Yeah.
That can happen. You should watch out for that, because that's how they get you, is with tax evasion.
Also, yes, Skinny King Man, yes.
Oh, yes. Speaking of incarceration, how exactly is a being of your obvious great power being confined here?
There is absolutely no way to open those doors. I've tried. Look, watch. And he turns, and you all see something that, again, spellcasters of your power all recognize immediately. beams of pure disintegration, like that would eradicate most living things, just erupt out of his eyes and just pound on the door, and nothing happens. Just bam, 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 bam. Yes.
You know,
That seems like a very harsh punishment for just miss like a parking permit.
You are both wise as well as beautiful. I did not catch your name. Also, the halfling told me what it was going to be, but the Almighty Xanathar wasn't paying attention because the Almighty Xanathar generally does not care about the way that inferior beings refer to themselves. But you, Queen Lady, what is your name?
Did he tell you my name was Nahara? Sometimes he forgets.
He didn't have to tell me. The Almighty Xanathar already knew it. I was just making sure that you knew that I knew that your name is Nahara.
Thank you for that kindness, yes.
But I have one more piece of vital exposition, and he just like floats towards you enough that you kind of can see the gooey mucus over his eyes, Nahara, and leans in very close, and he says, I will give you the most important piece of information, and then you will become vital to your team here because you will know the thing that everybody wants to know, and that will make you important to them, which in the case makes the Almighty Xanathar important to you, would it not?
Yes. Well, you are important to me regardless.
Immediately, his kind of like pale purple cheeks just like flush, immediately like blushing, kind of, and like his little eyes start to narrow and kind of look all around. And he goes, all right, this is the thing. Apparently, a relic has been stolen from the Lady of Pain's vaults. To seize a relic under the protection of the Lady of Pain, all Sigil should fear whoever this is. That's the type of thing the Almighty Xanathar would do. But the Almighty Xanathar did not steal, just could have if he wanted to. But whatever their plans might be would be something terrible. Some hear rumors that it was a weapon that was stolen. Others say a magic box. No one knows that anyone knows. Only a description of a stone cube, all in black with runes of gold across the sides, was stolen.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
All right, then.
are we to retrieve this item?
Are you asking the Almighty Xanathar? This is what I was told to find out to tell you when the Almighty Xanathar has told you. When he says this, a wave of awareness comes through all of your minds. All of you get that blue-white glow that echoes out of your eyes, and a name just sort of is like whispered through your mind in the recesses. As much remembered as heard. Fatebreaker. Fatebreaker is an artifact thought by most to be a legend, described in conflicting rumors by chronomancers across multiple worlds. The artifact is said to channel powerful temporal magic, making it capable of rewriting causality, bypassing any magic or ward, and moving to or from any plane or multiversal realm. Some say the Fatebreaker was created by the first gods. Some say it was made to destroy the last gods. Some believe it was built as a weapon of war, then stolen by guardians who locked it away before it could be used. The only detail the legends share is that the artifact is an obsidian cube with golden arcane runes etched in complex patterns across its 6 faces.
At this realization, something in Nahara's pocket begins to buzz, and she hears a humming sound that she's very familiar with. At this realization.
Hang on, wait, no, you're not.
Oh, I have to.
How
could I not?
Okay.
At this realization, internally, Nahara's wondering what, in retrieving such an important relic, what would be the biggest challenges that this party would face in trying to retrieve it. And so she pulls out her Taroka deck.
You know, although nothing else here feels like it feels in the Dread Domains, the Taroka deck and the spirits contained within are all the same, Nahara. Friends of the Black Dice Society will understand why I reacted the way I reacted to this cursed card deck, which
Luba's
has been right
Taroka of Souls.
100% of the time. Eerily accurate. Let's see if the streak continues out of the mist here. Go ahead, draw.
Who would like to tell me when to stop shuffling?
Stop.
Speak now.
Okay. Should I cut or no?
Jang.
Cut the card or cut the deck or not cut the deck?
Cut it like my hair, yes.
Okay. Cut like the hair. Philanthropist.
All right, hold on.
I mean, that sounds good on paper, yes?
It's upside down. I don't know if that's.
Oh, no.
It's like
Oh no,
The
what does that
opposite.
mean? Uriah, what does it mean?
Well, I mean, if it's upside down, it's usually reversed. So, I mean, if you draw, a scary sounding card, it's like, oh no, that's fine. And, but if it's a good sounding card and it's reversed, that's like, oh no, that's terrible.
Well, I should tell
Is-
you, but really, B-Dave's gonna tell you all.
Nahara, your biggest obstacle will be opportunism in bribery or greed is going to be the thing that most stands in your way. And yes, the frickin'
Interesting.
cards are right.
Whoa.
And as you are looking at this card, the almighty Xanathar is just floating there, and he says, I don't know why all of your eyes started glowing white and blue and you're all like doing card tricks right now. The almighty Xanathar would pay you to come and perform in his den. But you know what the almighty Xanathar has learned. It is time for payment. Get me and Silgar out of here. Do your hero thing. So what's the plan? Your spiky-haired friend said something about creating a massive diversion. So go, divert. You all have no idea what he's talking about.
Divert. Now, a question for you, mighty Xanathar. I assume that you have used the power of your anti-magic ray, if that's what it is, to train it on the doors, yes?
The almighty Xanathar suppresses all magic and all that he beholds, because the almighty Xanathar is always the most shining and magical and benevolent thing in all places. So yes, obviously, when he looked upon the door, that is what happened. Yes. Oh, the almighty, and then he closes his eyes, so all of your magic comes back, but the other stalks are looking at you. He's like, you can have your feeble powers back, but don't try any quick ones on the almighty Xanathar, because the disintegration eye and the petrification eye is still very much looking. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Are you mocking the almighty Xanathar's perfect speech patterns with your yeses? Yes. Yes.
No.
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 Whittle is just holding back the urge to dominate monster right now.
Do we know that you're trying to hold back? Are you like giving any sort of?
If you happen to look down at Whittle's hands, they are glowing purple, and then the purple quickly dissipates.
Well, while you all are looking here and Whittle is desperately trying to hold back their very nature, with a shriek, magical alarms go off throughout the cell complex. The hooded guards clearly have no idea what's happening, even as the sound of metal bolts herald that the cell doors are unlocking and the door swings open. And the Xanathar turns and looks and says, well, that is an excellent distraction. You are top flight heroes. The almighty Xanathar is not used to actually appreciating the presence of heroes. Normally they are the thorn in the almighty Xanathar's perfectly, lavishly, lascivious, pustulous backside. But now you have done your job. Good, yes. A deal is a deal.
Yes, I suppose we have done our end of the bargain.
Yes, that was definitely us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You see one of his eyes starts to glow, and all of the water that is holding Silgar just lifts out of the, telekinetically lifts out of the porcelain commode, conspicuously out of reach of Jang Sao as the other eyes are looking at you as they're floating over. And outside, all hell starts to break loose. You see an evil unicorn comes galloping out of its cell and just skewering people, laughing maniacally. A gang of kobold acrobat assassins tumble through and stab at the legs of larger creatures. Two squads of Githyanki buccaneers and Githzerai monks with a lifelong blood feud attack each other with telekinetic bolts and unarmed strikes using other combatants as cover. A pentadrone Modron tries to end the hostilities. It comes out with these 5 robotic legs and it just says, the maker and the mother would not like us to fight. Can we not all get along? And it just gets overrun. The most horrifying beings in this plane or any other, space clowns push through the fray, attacking everyone in sight, with firearms that alternate between blasting out pure beams of antimatter and little signs that just ring bang. A shark with bipedal humanoid limbs challenges all comers to fisticuffs, saying, "Come, put him up, put him up, put him up. Come on, I'll give you what for. Put him up." And
I love it here.
Yeah.
A sapient flying sword shouts out, "I've been framed for murder, see? I didn't do it!" And immediately stabs someone and says, "I told you I didn't do it!" And goes back stabbing someone. And last, but certainly not least, as voted on by the good players of Idle Champions, 3 12-foot tall abyssal geese, horrified, covered in tattoos and spikes and bandanas on their wings, come out and are like, "Riot! What would you all like to do?"
Whittle is with
Geese
them.
gang?
Geese gang. Geese gang gang.
Geese gang. Geese gang.
Mhm.
Do we need initiative, or do we have an action? first?
You can just do something. It's like Gaggle Gang is showing up here. Like
Okay.
all of this is just starting. Yeah.
I take on a form of dread. So Nahara turns even more pale. Her wings become fire, essentially, and her robes become that blood red again, and her eyes just become white and start glowing.
Jang Sao Jang Sao, deep lore, has always been afraid, like deeply afraid of any creatures that are bigger than what they're supposed to be. It's just not right. It's not natural. You know, it's not natural. That's they definitely injected something in there, and she misty steps away as far as possible.
Kind of over toward, back into the cell would be as far as possible.
Oh, back in? We can't go in any other direction?
You could come out. All hell breaking loose out.
Oh, I have to rethink that then.
Well, in the meantime, what are the rest of you doing? Is
Well,
this
you're-
like riot is starting?
What are you thinking about that?
Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, the whole time Whittle has actually kind of been wanting to help the prisoners escape and wasn't really too invested in whatever this Fatebreaker artifact was. So she's very thrilled to see everybody escaping and rioting. And she holds up a rag that's probably soaked in gasoline and shoves it in a bottle full of alchemist fire. And lights it on fire and just looks for the first target that everyone else seems to be attacking. And also, if there's any remaining cells that are not open, or if there's like any keys laying around or guards trying to take cover, she's definitely gonna take action in that way.
This would be you want to attack the guards,
Attack guards, steal keys, make sure everyone's escaped.
Perfect. And Uriah, what were you saying?
So probably of all the horrific things that are before him, the most horrific are the abyssal geese, one would think, right? Like just pure.
They're objectively terrifying, yes.
I live in Canada. I know what geese are like. They're
Geese are jerks.
Yeah, that do not like the cobra chicken.
Yes. So Uriah will use a 6th level spell slot to target all 3 of them with a banishment spell. Just like, oh God, oh no, get them away from me, and just
a tuft of feathers left.
Try to send them back to the abyss.
You hold your hands up and all 3 of them vanish. But then you remember, Uriah, this is Sigil and nothing leaves here. They all reappear and turn and look at you, and just like the 3 of them turn and look, and they just go,
Okay, did you do that?
Hear me out. I was trying to send you back home, away from this prison.
How was your trip?
When you see
Hear me
them
out.
all appear there, right at their feet. It took you a second to notice because obviously they draw your attention. And a figure stands there and a circle of space begins to open around them. Even the geese start to back up, showing how even the prisoners instinctively know to fall back from this person. A pale, dark-haired figure wears a nondescript gray prison uniform, a glowing collar around his neck, likely some sort of magical dampener. His face and head are wrapped in gray cloth to make a mask concealing all but his eyes. But you all recognize Man-Shun all the same. He was a great and terrible wizard who created several clones of himself, most of which are supposed to be dead, and yet one still stands here before you. And a pulse of arcane power hits you like a body blow. The rioting prisoners slam back against the open cells. A pressure wave rises, blurring your sight and changing the tenor of the sound around you. Only the masked Man-Shun clone stands unmoving as the prisoners' riot turns to chaotic panic. Whittle, you picked up the orrery.
Yep.
You feel it buzzing violently in your pocket. And then everything freezes. Everything changes. The other prisoners are spectral figures suddenly out of phase with the reality that holds you. Man-Shun is an all-black plate mail now, the glowing collar gone, his face wrapped by an armored mask. A hulking construct has appeared at his side, covered in spikes, headless but possessed of a great central eye in their chest that watches you. In Man-Shun's hands, he holds an onyx cube whose faces are set with complex inscriptions and runes of gold. He laughs darkly, his voice carried on the magical storm. You truly thought that you could stop me.
I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Uriah. As Whittle speaks up and says this, something just sort of echoes around in your mind. That when the Archmage talks to you in the past tense, run.
Run!
Right when you yell run, you see the construct steps forward and says, yes, always here as before. Both Widdle and Jang Sao do not know any respect. I will teach it to them. And its arms fly and hit the two of you, and they do not miss. When the Marut attacks, it does not miss. And it hits each of you for 60 points of damage, 6-0.
Can I fistband shield again?
There is no stopping the Marut. But when the arms hit the two of you in particular, they stop and float there a second and sprout legs and stand right in front of you.
Jang, what do we do?
Oh god. Jang, upon falling to the ground, drops a bunch of little tiny stars like sonic rings. Gets up and dusts herself off, and she grabs onto Whittle's hand.
Aw. Whittle holds on to Jang's hand too. I'm gonna try something. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to cast heat metal on one of the hands.
Perfect.
Uriah is saying to run. Is anybody else going to run?
Oh yes, I'm definitely running.
And Uriah is like babbling. He's just like, he's the Archmage! It's the past tense! He referred to us in the past tense! He's the Archmage!
Right. As you all are trying to clear out and you try to heat up this Marut, and you see the hands start to turn red as Man-Shun is turning to look at all of you, the flow of temporal magic shifts, speeding up and tightening to create a rippling center of stillness like the eye of a storm. This isn't Man-Shun's doing, though. As he looks around in anger and confusion, both hands on Fatebreaker as if to focus the magic, and then that magic explodes. An eldritch vortex opens up, dragging Man-Shun and his Marut and a cat into it, then widening to encompass you as well. Everything around you fades to white, and in that bright storm, you see other figures suddenly appearing, armored forms with weapons at the ready. Vaguely humanoid shapes surrounding by magic, hulking monsters leaping over each other as they fight their way to the center of the storm. And then that center is around you, and everything goes dark. And that is a good place for us to stop for today. So, thank you all for tuning in. Look at that precision. Look at that precision. Although it's not slight precision, because
Wow.
I still got to tell you who won all the things. So, real quick, let me come down here to give you my important outro. All right, so giveaway winners for the WizKid D&D Icons of the Realm Adult Lunar Dragon is Takai_Ryu. Congratulations, Takai Ryu. Keep an eye on your whispers. That is how they're going to contact you for fulfillment. The winner of the Idol Champions Sigil and Synergy Collection is Pandas Ate My Dad. Pandas Ate My Dad. The number 8. I see what you did there. Congratulations. Again, keep an eye on your whispers. Use code ICP20 at dndmini.com for 20% off your next order. Thank you, WizKids. That is until November 22nd. Our episode 1 Beetle and Grimm giveaway winner is Craig Kurt. That is a $25 gift card for use at beetleandgrims.com. Thank you, Craig Kurt. Thank you, V and Jake, for producing. V and Jake, sorry, especially Jake. Congratulations on the new arrival. Welcome to the Prime Material Plane, little bro. Thank you to Jay for moderating. Thank you to Alicia and Gina and Mark and Meagan and Noura for bringing their characters to Idol Champions Presents. It says thank you to me, but that's weird. It doesn't seem right to say thank you to myself.
Thank you, B-Day.
Thank you,
Oh, you guys, thank you. No, you stop it. Yeah, you stop it. No, thank you. Boom Boom, the Tavern Keep Familiar, is available in the in-game shop right now. Created by our friend Todd Stashwick, this good boy's net proceeds from the first week of sales will go to Extra Life and help BC Children's Hospital. Log in this Wednesday, October 18th, to unlock Thellora and add the best Centaur girl to our formation. Starting at noon Pacific in Idol Champions. We will see you next week for episode 2 of Idol Champions Presents Fatebreaker. We'll be right back here at 10 a.m. Pacific on Monday, October 23rd. And with that, bye-bye, y'all.